Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. And today we're gonna look at a very special collection. In the last video, like a month or month and a half ago, when I filmed my orange eyeshadow palette collection, I've promised that I'm gonna film the blue eyeshadow palette collection next time. So here we are today, and I'm gonna share with you all of my blue eyeshadow palettes or palettes that have blue eyeshadows in them, or my singles that are blue. We've already did orange, purple, green, and I think that's it. So today we're gonna look at blue. I have a lot of palettes in front of me, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but we're gonna be here for a while, and I'm gonna be swatching my favorite shades from these palettes. So yeah, that's kind of what you can expect from this video. If this is your first time here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows, especially eyeshadows, and lately I've been really into blue. I think my love for blue started last year, and this year like it's really going strong, and I really do enjoy blues. So I actually have quite a lot to share with you, not as much as for greens, but we still have a lot of them. So, and before I'm gonna do the overhead shot, I'm gonna share with you what I'm wearing today. So I have the Colourpop and Pokemon palette down eyeshadow palette. Is it called like that? Yes. And I have the shade Fainted kind of at the end, then the shade SSN in the crease, then the shade Indigo Leak kind of at the second half of the lid. Then as a topper, I have the shade Evolution, which is beautiful topper. And then I'm also using the Little Ghost palette from Oden's Eye in collaboration with Angelica Niquez. This is their Halloween collection, and I've used the shade Boo and topped it with this white shade called Cobweb in my inner corner to just kind of really make the eyelid to really make the inner corner sparkly and vibrant, but still like light white. So this is how we look like. I love this look. Usually when I wear blues, I just kind of go for this kind of liner look because I feel like it looks the best on me. But yeah, this is kind of how we're looking like. I also have like kind of white blue highlighter. I will show you maybe in a minute the rest of products because I don't have them in front of me right now. So these are kind of all the products that I'm wearing today, and let's get into the swatching and the like close-ups of all of these palettes. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Okay, so this is about as far as I'm gonna be able to get. I'm gonna like push all the products aside because it's a huge piles. I don't even know how many palettes we have. So we have like 26 palettes and then 3 palettes full of singles, or like, you know, single shades and stuff like that. So that's quite a lot considering that I have like, I don't know, 40 palettes maybe. We have a lot of palettes with blue. So let's just jump right into it. So we have like big palettes here, then like kind of more like squarish and smaller, like 9 pans to 16 pans here, and then like a couple of the smaller like sleek palettes over here. So we're gonna start with the small ones, and before that I'm gonna mention what I'm wearing. So I have the Essence I Love Extreme Volume mascara that I've been trying lately. Then I have the Essence Baby Gun blush, a liquid blush in the shade Coral Crush. Then the Oden's Eye Gel Liner in the shade 09. Elf Primer that I'm almost out of, and the Superstay Maybelline Concealer in the shade 10, as you can see. So that's kind of what we're wearing. I'm also gonna have my little rug here so that I can wipe my fingers. So first we're gonna start with the Wulfa palette from Shall We Makeup. This is one of the newer palettes from me, and I already know that I want the newest, like the ones that are gonna be released. I think they have the It's not Liana. Elena, with like the little deer, and I think they also have one collab palette that they've like sneak peeked. So I want these two because the quality of Shelby Makeup's formula is really nice. Like I have this one and I have the Mist Witch palette that they came out in the beginning of the year, and they're gorgeous. And I have this shade, which is kind of like gold, blue, green, like, yeah, I think you can kind of see the shift. It's stunning. It's my favorite shade from this palette, and I like how unique it is because you have all these warm like reds, browns, oranges, and then you have this. Like, I'm sorry, but that's gorgeous. So I think this part will be for my favorite, like the absolute most favorite shades, and then I'm gonna, you know, show you the rest. So like, I mean, do you see that? So it has like that green, blue, purple, gold. It has everything. It's just the most magical shade. It's extremely wet looking. And yeah, I love that one. That one is just gorgeous. So honestly, I would buy this palette only for this one shade. This is a magnetic palette and you're getting a amazing quality for the price. So we have that one. Then we're gonna go for the Earth palette by Oden's Eye. This one I think is already discontinued because it came out with the Norns collection. That was like 3 years ago, I want to say. Or is it already 4 years ago? I think it's 3 years ago. So as you can see, it's mostly like a green palette. Mine is on my project pen, so it's already like, it has 3 pens. These two aren't that visible because I was swatching the palette after creating the pens, and the pen just kind of like got pushed a little bit inside. But yeah, this one and this, it has this like purpley blue silver shade that I think is so cool for this color story, because otherwise, like, again, it would be like full on green color story, and then you have this shade, which I just like when the brand just kind of thinks about it and like put something a little bit different there. I think that that's just fun. So here you can see it's like kind of like blue, silver, purple, I guess. Like, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how to explain this shade. But yeah, it's quite nice. And I feel like when I put it next to this shade, like if I use this shade and then this shade, it looks really blue. So that's why I wanted to mention it. But yeah, it's that kind of like blue, purple, silver. I guess now it looks a little bit more silver than a blue. Then another palette, it is What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye palette. This is the only palette that I have from What's Up Beauty. I wish that they would do more palettes like these, but maybe like more colorful, because this is just stunning. The shimmers here, I actually used this palette 2 days ago, I think. I don't know if I don't think I filmed the look, or maybe I did. And it was a stunning look. Because like it's really pretty. And if I remember that correctly, I think the shade Scales have some blue. Or is it just green? Let me just like swatch it here. Yes, it has a little bit of, it's kind of like in between green and blue. So I don't know if you will be able to see that. Maybe. Yeah, I think you can see that it goes from like a green, blue to purple. So this one is like, you know, not super close, but like kind of there. And this one I think is just purple with like some blue. So yeah, that's for the Dragon Eye. So it's kind of like a green to blue, which some people count it, some people don't. So I thought that I would mention it. If you're more into like blue greens. Then I have the Wicked Widow Lovesick palette, which is beautiful. And And you have this deep blue shade that I think is stunning. Then you have this shade called Fall For You, which is like a pink base and a blue kind of sparkle in it. And then you have this, which is called Three Last Words, and it's just such a stunning matte shade. So I think we're gonna swatch that. It's kind of like a slightly periwinkle, like it has that little bit of like purple in it. But I think it's mostly like blue. And this one is such a soft, like creamy formula, beautiful. Beautiful shade. And I love that. Honestly, this would kind of be really pretty. For like more graphic look, I guess. So that's the Wicked Widow. She's small, but she's wonderful. I love the quality of these, and I want to get more of these small Wicked Widow palettes in the future. I think that would be really, really lovely. And I would really want that. Now, I have the palette Haunted from Gourmande Girls. So this is their like Halloween palette of this year. And as you can see, there's this shade called, okay, what is it? Apparition. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Also, you have the shade Jinx, which is also like pink base with blue sparkle. And I think this one's gonna go here because I do really love this one. This one's kind of like turquoisey. Like it's not a fully blue, it's kind of like in between blue and green. This one is kind of also shifty. Yeah, I think you can see that it like kind of shifts like between this turquoisey color to like blue and like a little bit of light purple. Maybe you can see it kind of on the side. I don't know. Can you see it? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. But it's a very lovely kind of light color. And I feel like this one is a lot more wearable. And I also like that it's a little bit drier formula than, for example, the Wulfa palette. So if you are prone to creasing, this kind of feels like a pigment, like when you have those little jars with like pigment or like sparkles. This feels like that. It feels very much like super tiny specks of sparkles that were just like pressed into a palette, which I think is really nice if you just want like a veil of product, or if you are like topper, or if you have eyelid that crease a lot. So yeah, this one is really hooded eye friendly, same as this shade called Eerie. So if you struggle, definitely would recommend these two. Then we have another Shall We Makeup palette, and that's the Mist Witch palette, which I think is stunning. And as you can see, this one has this light kind of iridescent blue and then this deeper blue. And I think we're gonna swatch the iridescent one because I think it's really pretty. Like, look at that. And where are you gonna go? I think you're gonna go here. It's like very much that iridescent formula. There you go. See, like it's so wet looking. Like from this angle you can't see it at all, but then it's just like boom, you know. It is so stunning. I love this shade. I think it's so pretty. And yeah, I love these. So yeah, and this also is really nice formula. Like the shades, they feel a little bit more stickier, like kind of like a glue, not gluey. How should I put it? It's like, you know, they like stick a little bit, but they don't crease, and they have beautiful pigmentations. They're super sparkly and like shiny, wet looking, and the matte are very buttery. and easy to blend. So those this is like the smallest pile of these like mini palettes, or like the smaller palettes. We just started and my entire arm is like, I don't know, Twilight's vampires. It's just like the skin of a killer. Now let's get into this bigger pile of these like more square shape and like kind of mid-sized palettes. And first we have the Shroud Cosmetics Moonfall palette. I've had this palette for like a year and a bit now. I really do like this palette. She's like a little bit darker. I think she's perfect for winter, or like more like, I don't know, moodier looks. And you have this kind of Sentinel shade, which is in between green and blue. But it's like, I guess it's more green than blue. Then you have the shade Rebirth, which is very like deep inky blue. And then this shade called Night Song. Should I do some? Well, we only have shimmers so far, so I feel like I should do some kind of matte. I mean, the Night Song is truly beautiful. I have similar shade in a different palette, and I'm gonna show you the like similar shade, which is gonna be the Christmas Eve palette from Uden's Eye. They're kind of very similar. So now we're gonna swatch the shade Rebirth. And as you can see, it's like very, very deep, slightly like ashy. Well, ashy. I don't know how I should explain the undertone of this, because it's very interesting. I would just keep it at inky blue, kind of that little bit of like, I guess kind of like a grayish green, like kind of that like a really cool toned grayish green. And yeah, you can see with this shade that would be beautiful, or with this shade also, and also with this pastely shade, like that would look stunning. I do really like this shade for deepening up. And so that's the Moonfall palette by Shroud. What I'm gonna say about this palette, some of these shimmers were like really full in the packaging. Like you can maybe see that they're like slightly like raised, that it's almost like a little sphere. And because of that, some of them like kind of broke apart when you like travel with it. So this shade and this shade especially, but also the shade Soulstone, just from traveling, like it can get a little messy eventually. Then one of the newer palettes, and my like one of the few drugstore palettes that I have, is this Essence and Harley Quinn eyeshadow palette, and this is the second version, I think. Yes, the Mad Love. There was one palette that was like pinky reds, and then this kind of blue one with some pinky pinks and reds as well. So I like this one because it has like more options. And this one has really cute shades. Like you can see there's a lot of blues. It's not the best blue formula, but if you're just starting with blues and you just want something really inexpensive to just try, I think this is really nice. And I really like this kind of electric blue called Anarchy. I mean, that's very Harley Quinn fitting. And like, I don't know if I have a shade, maybe, well, okay. I think I have one shade that's kind of similar. In the Earth Wizard palette by Micka Beauty Shop, but I think that's the only palette that I have something similar. Or maybe also in one of the Oden's Eye palettes, but I'm not completely sure. So that's the shade Anarchy, and I think I'm also gonna swatch for you the shade Manic, because it's also kind of pretty and it's in a similar undertone, but this one is more like aqua blue, I guess. So there you go. These are very pretty. Like, honestly, they look great. I do love them. They're just not like the absolute best formula of blues, but you can definitely wear them. What I would say, if you like to start with like a mid-tone matte and then go light and dark, this shade, You have to be very careful at how you're gonna layer it, and I think it's better if you start with the deeper shade, if you're gonna use the deeper shade, and then go with the shade Anarchy, and only try to use them in the area that you want them. So if you only want this in the crease and this one only in the in the outer corner, only put it there. Don't try to put it all over the eyes, because the more you blend these, or even like the other blues with the shade, it can get muddy, or it can get like I've experienced that it didn't really want it to stick to my eyes, and it would just kind of not pill even, but like it would kind of blend out into nothing. So you have to be careful about this one, because it is more of the like electric neon-y formula, and it's always kind of tricky to work with. So that's for the Harley Quinn palette, but I do think she's really cute. Then we have the Mighty Monster palette by Oden's Eye in collaboration with Annette Oberstadt. This is their newest collaboration that they've had a couple months ago. And it has this shade, which is kind of that like in between green and blue, but then it has this shade Oceanic, which I think is stunning. I'm trying to like not get rid of the scaly the details, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to avert that, because I've already used this shade like, I don't know, 6 times, 7 times, and I also swatched it, so obviously that is a little bit of a problem if you want to keep the little designs. Yeah, there you go. So again, it's very beautiful. It's more blue and like icy than this shade. Like in comparison, like this looks very purple, but when I started applying it on my hand before all of these shades, like this one looked very blue. So you can see that like when you put that in perspective, like this is also this is a lot more blue and like icy than the Wicked Widow shade. I think this was the 3 Last Words, or however it was called. So that's Mighty Monster. Then a palette that has more blues is their first collaboration. So this is also between Oden's Eye and Annette Oberstadt, and it's the it's the palette Giant Wolves. This one is quite old. Again, I think it's like 3 years old, and you have this beautiful azure. I'm not completely sure how you're supposed to pronounce this one, but I'm gonna say azure, and hopefully it's right. Which is beautiful, but it also has the shade Eternal. I always want to say ethereal for some reason, and it's just like it has like green, blue, purple, gold in it. Like it's the most beautiful multichrome, and I'm actually gonna show you a multichrome that's kind of similar to this but better in the future. But look at that. I mean, that's just gorgeous. And I think I'm gonna also switch the shade Azure. Again, I don't want to lose the little paw print, but it's kind of hard to not. Okay, this one is older. Like as I said, it's probably 3 years old, so it doesn't switch the best. You can see that it's kind of similar to the Harley Quinn palette. So there you go. Like you can see this one is maybe like a little bit more like not as neon as this one, but it's still very vibrant blue that I think is very, very pretty. Then we have the Oden's Eye in collaboration with Judy. This is the Spring Dragon palette. This is also like the newer palette. I like the newer collab. And as you can see, it has this like very, very pretty pastel blue shade. I guess we're gonna put it here because I'm running out of space. And you can see it's like kind of similar to the... This one is quite similar to the first shade from Annette. I think it's just this one is less punchy than the one from Annette. But yeah, it's also very, very pretty matte. And I do like the formula a lot. I mean, I love Oden's Eye. Then another palette is actually a highlighter palette. but she's so pretty, and I did use a couple of these as kind of like a sparkly eyeshadow. So I have the shade Dream Chaser, which is just gorgeous. Also, these ones are so... It's a wonderful formula. Where am I gonna put you? She's kind of similar to this shade, so I feel like I should put it maybe here. I don't know. Obviously, this is a highlighter, so like it's not meant to be fully opaque, but I mean you can see how extremely shiny that is. And I'm also gonna swatch the shade In a Trance, because this one is kind of like the greeny bluish version. Like it kind of has more of that like scaly greeny in it, but it's still kind of similar. And this one also has some like pink. It's not like fully blue. It depends on the lighting, I guess. So yeah, I don't know how to show you properly, but these are also pretty, and I did use them multiple times on my eyes. So technically a highlighter, but nobody says that you can't switch that up. I have a lot of eyeshadows that I use as highlighters or blushes, and obviously you can also use blushes as eyeshadows or highlighters as eyeshadows. So that's the Daydreamer by Electrum Cosmetics. I want to get the newest palette from Electrum Cosmetics, the one, how is it called? Moon Moth. It's kind of that like a grungy fun palette, kind of like a greenish with like muddy colors and stuff like that. I do really want that one because I'm kind of... I also want the Heartbreaker palette from Electrum Cosmetics, which I haven't found on their website, so I don't know if they completely got rid of it or if it's gonna be available again, because I really wanted that one, but at the time that it released, it wasn't available, or like I couldn't buy it and then it wasn't available, so yeah. Anyways, onto the next palette, which is the Salmona 2 by Oden's Eye. And as you can see, this one has a really nice shades. Obviously I have this pastel blue, which is just stunning, but I already have two pastel blues, and I think it's very similar to the one in the Mighty Monster palette, the Oceanic. Then you have this kind of turquoisey blue. I think I'm gonna swatch the shade Deep Space, this shimmer shade, because it is very pretty. It's kind of like a denim blue. Also, this is older palette, like I think it's 3 years old now. Or is it 2 years old? It wasn't last summer and the summer before that. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years old. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. Like you can see that this one definitely has more sparkle than this one from the Harley Quinn palette, but it's like similar shade. So, and you can see it even like covers up the tattoo, so it has quite a lot of pigment to it. And obviously you can see that I love this palette. Like there's already 3 pans, so I do really love her, and it's a wonderful formula. I don't know if they didn't discontinue it because I haven't found it on their website, or like it wasn't available. So I don't know if they just ran out of stock of this or if it's being discontinued. Then we have the Christmas Eve palette by Oden's Eye. I've got this, not this Christmas, but the last Christmas, so the first time that it was launched. And this one is so pretty. Like obviously I like this shade because it has a pan. This shade, I actually use this one in my nail polish, but I do use it on my eyes as well. I think I've used it like 40 times now. This one is gorgeous. This one obviously is very pretty, and it's kind of similar to this shade from the Moonfall palette. And then we have the Blue Star, which is similar to the shade from the Moonfall palette, the blue one, the Blue Shimmer. So I'm going to show you this Blue Shimmer because we don't have any like deep blue shimmer, and I feel like we should change that. So I guess we're gonna put it here. This one is still so nice and creamy, even though it's like 2 years old. But yeah, like it's such a deep blue with like a little bit of purple. It's kind of like a duochrome. And I love this one, like it's gorgeous. So that's the blue star. I don't know if I should swatch another one. Like I do like the blue eyes. I'm gonna show you the blue eyes because it's stunning and it really transforms the look when you put these two shimmers next to each other. Like it's just such a nice blue. Like it's so icy and beautiful, and I love it for summer looks and winter looks. Like it's beautiful for both. So that's the Christmas Eve palette. Then we have another Oden's Eye. This is the Little Ghost palette from Oden's Eye in collaboration with Angelica Nyquist. This is from their last Halloween collection, or like the Halloween collection. And as you can see, there are a lot of blues. I do like a lot of the blues. I don't love this shade because I feel like it could be a little bit more punchy. And you have to be like careful with this one because it is again a little bit more on the how did I call that? The neon shades. Like it's very much super vibrant formula, so it can be a little bit trickier to like work on top of that. But as you can see, this is like a deeper neon shade, or maybe you can't really see how neon it is. Maybe in the light, in the window light, you can kind of see more of a true shade of it. But yeah, it's kind of more like a deep neon shade. I don't know if there is something like a deep neon, but this one is definitely that. And then what else? I mean, this one is kind of similar to this shade, or not, like a little bit deeper. This one is again one of those like pink shades that actually spark a blue. This one is very similar to this one. It's just like a little bit more ashy. And I've already talked about this one. It's pretty much the same thing. So I don't know if I need to swatch anything else from this palette. Then this is like my custom made palette, and I have this shade from Terra Moon, and this is Serpents, I believe. Yes, Serpents. It's kind of like a green to blue shimmer. I love Terra Moon's shimmers, by the way. So I'm gonna try to show you. Like it has a green base and a blue sheen. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. Yeah, I think you see it. It has like that a little bit of blue in it as well, and it's beautiful. So if you're a green eyeshadow lover and you want to bring just like a little bit of blue into your looks, then Serpents is there for you. And then in this is just like an empty palette from Ensley Rain, and I have a couple of my just like singles. This one is from Colourpop. It's a matte blue. I think it's called Tide Pool, or maybe Tide Pool is this one. One of them is Tide Pool and one of them is Lost and Found, and both of them are from Colourpop. I don't remember which one is which. And then what else is kind of with blue sheen? This one has gold. This one has gold. I think it's this one. Yes. This one also from Terra Moons. As you can see, it's like a white based blue shimmer, or like topper. And this one, is this Atlas or is it Snow Globe? It's Atlas. So again, Terra Moons Atlas. Okay, so here we have the last stack, and we're gonna start with the Cosmic Brushes Gothic palette, which this one is more like a purple palette, but you have this shade here called Obscure. Which I really like. It's one of those like iridescent white based shimmers. So you can see it's kind of really similar to this one. This one has just like a little bit more wet feeling and look to it, but it's very much similar shade. So I really do like that one. and I think it's a nice addition to this palette. Then we have the Glam Shop Sorbete palette, and as you can see, you have like kind of pastel-y shimmers in like all different undertones, and you have this shade called Tutti Frutti, which is kind of that like blue-green again. And these ones are just so extremely shiny and wet looking and gorgeous, so you can see that it goes from blue to like green with like a little bit of purple. And then this shade called Miatus, which is also, it's kind of similar to the shade Serpents from Terra Moons that I've showed you. So here you can see it's kind of like a green base with icy blue shine. Or do we have the Serpents one? Here, this one. So you know, it's kind of similar vibe. So yeah, that's the Miatus. And I really like both of these. I think they're absolutely beautiful and I love them together. They're just such a cool kind of like serpenty, scaly, dragon inspired combo. Like, I don't know, I see a dragon in this. It's kind of like Saphira from Aragon. Then we have the Earth Wizard by Micka Beauty Shop. And you can see that you have this blue, which is kind of very similar to this shade from, this was I think the Harlequin palette. Then you have this kind of slightly deeper blue. And then you have a couple of the shimmers, which I think this one is kind of like a purple to blue, kind of in between. Let me swatch it for you. So this one goes from like, it has like blue, green, purple sheen to it. It's very pretty. And I don't know if I should swatch some of the blue mattes. I don't know if you want to see that, but yeah, they're extremely similar to the previous shades. It's not that far into the past so that I still remember how they look like. Then we have a couple singles. These are my Glam Shop singles, and then we also have this one. This is from the Alter Ego palette from Glam Shop. It's just like a depotted shade, but we have this kind of then I have this single shade from Glam Shop, and this one is Ink, I think. Yes, Ink or Atrament in Polish. I don't know if you actually pronounce it that way because I can't really read Polish. I can understand when somebody speaks in Polish, but I'm not very good at like reading it. So this is the inky shade, and this one is a little bit more like grayish than the previous kind of inky shade, and it's not as dark, but you can see it's kind of like a grayish denim color. I feel like I'm gonna break my arm at this point because it's kind of like the camera is like too low, but I can't put it any further because I don't have like anything that I could attach this in, so that's a little annoying. And this is a really nice shade. Where is it? Here. I am just full of blue shades. This one is really nice, but it's a little bit drier formula and a little bit more like grainy formula. It takes a bit longer for it to build up, but when it builds up, it's like actually really nice. So you know, it's just like getting used to that one. It's not my favorite formula. I think these other mattes are better than this shade, but it's still pretty. And then we have this shimmer one. This is just like a basic shimmer. It has a little bit of like purple sheen to it as well, and this is called Breeze or Bryza in Polish. And this one is also extremely pretty. It's kind of similar to that deeper blue from the Mist Witch palette from showy makeup. That's why I haven't swatched it, because it would be like very redundant. And you can see this one is kind of, I don't think we have similar shade per se. Like this one is a lot more sparkly and wet looking, and it kind of looks like a topper, but it has a lot of pigment to it. But it kind of has this like similar feel to it as like the Terra Moons, for example. It has a very similar feel to it, and I do really like this shimmer a lot, and I definitely want to have more of these this formula from Glam Shop, because I think they're really nice. So that's just like a singles. Then we have the Legend of Korra from Colourpop. This one, I fell in love with blues in this palette, or like especially from Colourpop. I think this is my favorite blue formula. I love the shade Water Bending. It's such a stunning kind of pastel-y but still very vibrant shade. I love this one because like it actually shows up nicely. And sorry, I was cleaning this palette not that long ago, and I had to spray it with a how do you call it, like a disinfectant, or like rubbing alcohol. That's how you call it, rubbing alcohol. So it's kind of stiffer now, but yeah, here you can see how it looks like. It's a very like, it actually shows up, but it's still like pastel-y. And I got a little bit here. Yeah. So you can see these are very pretty. This shade is kind of similar to the shade Ultraman. It's a little bit lighter than in the pan, so it would be pretty much the same, so I'm not gonna swatch it. But I am gonna swatch this single that I've swapped here, and this is from Terra Moons, and this one is Star Sign, I believe. Yes, Star Sign. It's really funny how really easy it is for me to remember these shades and like the names, but I can't remember anything like from my school, or you know, like important things. I just remember shade names. So this is Star Sign, and it's kind of like a blue base with like a little bit of periwinkle purplish sheen to it. It's beautiful. It's like literally half and half blue and purple. I love that. I mean, look at how yummy that looks. It's a very pretty shade. I have used it a lot. There's quite a bit of a dip, and I love using it with these two matte shades from the Colourpop palette. So that's Legend of Korra. Then we have the Joker palette by Catrice, and this is mostly like a purple palette, but you have a couple blues, so you have kind of like these two very similar deep blues, like kind of these like inky blues, then this blue, kind of bluish purple matte shade, and then you have this shade called Psychotic Mastermind. It's kind of like purpley blue. So you have quite a bit of blues. I think I'm gonna swatch this light one. I know I usually swatch like pastel mattes and shimmers, and I never really do like deep mattes or mid-tone mattes, but yeah, you can see that this one has a little bit of purple in it. Or can you see that? Like it's a little bit more purple than this one. It's kind of like, I don't know, like it has that in between purple and blue, and I do like that one quite a bit. So that's another palette from drugstore. Then I have a Polish palette, or a Polish brand called Mio Makeup, and this is the Frog's Tales, a magical story about 15 eyeshadows palette. And again, you have this very nice like kind of like this shade, right, like the deeper neon shades. This one has a little bit of purple in it as well, but like very little. It's mostly just like a neon-y blue. So there you go. That one is very pretty. Then obviously I have this shade, which is kind of similar to this. Then you have this shade, which is kind of like this shade. And then you have this glitter, which I will try to swatch for you. This is like a blue and purple specks of glitter with like a little bit of gold and green in it as well. So I'm gonna try to, like, this glitter actually kind of sticks on its own, like you don't have to fully use a primer for that, which is nice. But yeah, as you can see, like there is some blue, some purple, and some green. I don't know if you can see it that well, but like it's kind of all over. And like it looks very pretty with these. I don't really use pressed glitters all that often, but it's quite nice, and it has a lot of fun specs in it. So that's cute in my opinion. Then one of the newer palettes is this stunning Spring Magic palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. This was given to me as a gift. And what am I gonna show you from this palette? Obviously I have this beautiful pastel. This one is more like a green shade. This one is purple to blue duochrome. Then you have the shade Thought. I feel like I'm gonna do the Thought one because I don't know if you really have a color like this. Like this one is a little bit different than the other shades. And like all of the blues in this palette are a little bit more on the green side of things, but I think it's still very, very pretty and very nice. And I do love the blues here. I've already used them like multiple times and I love them so much. They're truly wonderful, wonderful formula. Then we have the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delights palette. Obviously you have multiple cute blues. So you have this white based iridescent highlight with like blue sheen. Then you have this shade called Ice Pop, which is beautiful. Then this like more again kind of like neon-y electric blue. Then this kind of like this like purpley blue. This really beautiful deeper blue shimmer. I think I'm gonna swatch Ice Pop because it's a little bit unusual. I would say like it has that little bit of icy, like greeny, like sea foamy color in it. Like it's not really turquoise, it's like icy color. I don't know. So that one is very pretty. I don't know if it's similar to anything we have on. I don't think so. So this one is kind of like unique and very fun. And I love the shade name. Like Ice Pop is a very cute name. Then the Queen of Blue Eyeshadows is obviously the Winter Wonderland from Cosmic Brushes. So yeah, this one is pretty much all just like blues, purples, and like kind of bluish greens. And what are we gonna swatch from this palette? I mean, I love the shade Frost. It's like one of my favorite in a corner highlight. It's kind of like a green to blue, kind of like turquoisey blue sparkle. As you can see, it's just so pretty, so nice. I don't know if we have anything like this. I don't think we do. I mean, it's slightly similar to this shade, which I don't remember what this was. Oh, this is the from the Christmas Eve palette. It's kind of similar, but this one has like a little bit more of that icy, sea foamy thing to it, and this one looks the same that the shine from this shade. So it doesn't have, it has like the same. It looks like it looks the same when it hits the light, but then obviously this one has green base and this one is just like a regular shimmer, so it's the same from all angles. And then what else should I show you? I think the shade Chill as well. Like this is such a fun shade. This one is very sticky, like kind of jelly formula, and this one I think stains a bit, if I remember that correctly. But look at that. This is like such a vibrant deep blue. It's kind of similar to this this shade from, this one was the Halloween, the Little Ghost palette. Like it's kind of the same but made it shimmer. I really like this lineup. So this one is gorgeous. Should I show you some of the multichromes? Like this one is a green to blue, kind of purpley multichrome. So it goes from kind of shade like this to kind of shade like this, with like a little bit of that blue. So if you would put these three shades together, it's kind of this multichrome. And then you have this one, which is more like a, what's kind of similar to, which one was it? the Giant Wolf's Multichrome. I think it was this one, so it's like extremely similar to that. So I don't know if I should swatch that for you. But yeah, I think these two will be enough. Obviously also this one is kind of pretty, and I don't know if we have that. It's kind of like this shade but like darker. Kind of like if you mixed this with this. But I'm kind of tired of swatching, so we're gonna leave it. Now another bigger palette that has a lot of blue shades, and I can't open it. So we have kind of this row of blue shades from the Colourpop and Pokemon collection. And which one should I swatch? I think I'm gonna swatch the Indigo League because it's very pretty. And I'm also gonna swatch the shade Evolution. So this is the Indigo League. As you can see, like, it's a very deep blue shade, and I love the shade Evolution. This one is very toppery. It's very soft formula. It has that like a little bit of green in it as well, and it's beautiful when you top these two together. Like that's what I have on my eyes, and it's my favorite shade. The shade Evolution is my absolute favorite shade of this palette because it's the most beautiful shade of this palette, especially on the eyes. So that's what we have. And then the last palette, finally, because I can't speak, is the Nomad Cosmetics Ireland Wild Atlantic Way. And obviously this is like a green palette, but you have this shade called Cobh Harbor. C-O-B-H, Harbor. Like, I don't know how you call that, like Cobh, I don't know. And this one is kind of like a purpley blue with a little bit of green. I'm gonna swatch it on the other side because I feel like over the body hair, like arm hair, you can't really see it. But yeah, this is how she looks like. She's kind of similar to the shade. Where are we? I think it was this one, the from the Gourmande Girls Haunted palette. So yeah, this is how it looks like. Here are all the other shades. It's obviously very sparkly and very beautiful, and here are other sparkles and beautiful mattes. I think for me, what I like to use the most are like these types of pastels. Then I really like these deep blues, and then as a midtone I do really like these like really neon-y electric kind of blues, like really true blues. I don't like when they go too green or too purple. And then for shimmers, I think my favorite blue shimmers, well, I do like this one from Wulfa. I love the Serpents shade or the Miatus shade from Sorbeti. I do love this shade, and I don't remember what it was. These ones were Sorbeti, and then this one, this is the Gothic palette from Cosmic Brushes. And I also love these kind of more like turquoisey denim-y blues, and then obviously these like midnight blues. So yeah, I like a lot of these shimmers. With mattes I'm a little bit more hesitant, I guess, but the shimmers I love all of them. So yeah, I think this is all. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but I mean, I have both of my arms full of swatches, so I feel like this should be enough. If you need more, then I don't know, find somebody else, because I literally can't speak anymore. So yeah, hopefully you liked all of these swatches and all of these palettes. Let me know which one was your favorite and which one you like the most. Obviously, if you like blue shadows or like cool tone shadows, get the Winter Wonderland. If you only like a little bit and you're more in a lighter spirit, the Delicious Delights is beautiful. If you like really workable shimmers, because these don't really crease, I would recommend the Unearthly palette. I do like the blues from Colourpop. If you're like more into mattes than shimmers, what else would I recommend to you? If you like really iridescent colors and these like very summery colors, definitely go for Sorbeti. What else would I recommend to you? I'm kind of trying to see all that we have in here and what would be the best for you. Obviously, if you look for just like pops and you like also warm colors, go for this one. What else was really, really nice? I'm kind of also going like a lot of the Oden's eyes aren't available. Like I know all the collaborations aren't available. I don't know if the Solmona is, so I'm not gonna recommend those to you because I know that you can't get them. And what else? I feel like that's kind of all. So hopefully this was kind of useful to you. If you are trying to find your favorite blue shades, hopefully you can see something here that inspires you. I don't have enough camera space and enough hands to show you everything, but yeah, hopefully you found something that you like in here. Obviously you can go more purple or green if you're not really. I feel like for me getting to wear blues was pretty much by using green or purple mattes and then just adding like the sparkle in blue shades, and then slowly getting to the point that I would also use blue mattes, but that's just my journey. I don't know, like it also depends on your undertone. But I know a lot of people with warm undertones who can rock blue, so it's just about finding the right shades. I feel like if you have cool undertone, a lot of people really like the more like turquoisey shades. If you have more like warmer undertone, a lot of people go for these like really poppy blues, like the neony blues, or like really true blue colors. Or you can go more into purple and more these like periwinkle shades. So yeah, you can, every single person can wear blue. You just have to find your undertones, so you can pick which one you liked and go from there. So I hope this was useful to you, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will be very happy to see you in the next video, so I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye. And let me know which color I should do next. I was kind of thinking about yellow, but if you have another contestant, definitely let me know. So that's it. Have a great day and bye.